In this video, I'm going to teach you how to become a top 1% performer in everything in life. It can be business, it can be fitness, it can be relationships, it can be anything. Like anything you want to do, how to become a top 1%. This is coming from someone whose company is generating more than $5 million a year. I've been doing this for a lot of years. It wasn't easy, but it took time to get there, of course, but we're here. I want to think that in other areas of life, I'm also being a high performer. I don't want to get into that because this video and this channel is about business, but this entire thing, I'm going to give you a quick summary in a minute of what the method is and even a better summary at the end of what it is. And I'm going to give you examples and samples so you can relate to this and really try to take your life to the next level. Now, this all comes from an episode that I wrote on my diary. I have a diary. I write in it every day, every morning, insights from the day before, insights from the last day, content that I've heard, things that hit me and I think can really help me do better in life. So I write every day and I share this part with some friends of mine. They kept asking me to share more insights, so I share it with them. Now I put it online. I hope you can find it helpful and relate to that as well. Okay, so I will get started now and I'll start with kind of a summary of what it is, the one tip that you need to do in order to become the top 1%. In order to win at life, in order to become the top 1% of anything that you do, anything that you want to put your effort into, there's 1% that nobody is talking about, nobody really pays attention to, and you need to kill it. And if you get to the point where you kill this 1%, you will be the top 1%. And what is this 1%? Let me explain. This 1% is the 1% between a decision and a thought. It's the difference between going all in and, I don't know, leaving a road back home. And I'll give you a few examples. First of all, when there is no 1%, when there is 0% chance of something happening, usually there is no conflict, okay? There is no conflict on what you should do. You know what you need to do, and then you do it because you know there's no way of you not doing it. For example, if you have rent to pay, there is no option for you not to do it, right? There is no 1% where you don't pay the rent, okay? You're gonna pay it, or your phone bill. You know that you need to pay it, otherwise there's just not gonna be a phone, or there's not going to be an apartment, okay? So you pay for it. There's 0% chances here, so you know it, so you do it. When there is 1% chance of something not happening and it's in your choice, then this is where the conflict starts. And when this conflict starts, eventually you're going to lose. Okay, if you're going to the gym and you say, okay, maybe there is some excuse that might prevent me from going. If it's raining, if I'm tired, if I don't have time, all of these excuses that might be valid. If you have any sort of negotiation with yourself, it's done. Like, it's done, not necessarily on the same day. You might negotiate with yourself, find the power to do it, but then the next day you're going to come weaker, and this 1% is going to become 3%, and the 3% is going to become 10%, and eventually it's going to become 100%. Okay, and this is where you find yourself in this downward spiral of, trying to get back up, get there, and then you fall back down, and then you need to start back up again. And it's just every time it's helpless. Like, I'm going to start training. I'm going to train for 1 week, and then I'm going to lose my motivation, and then I need to wait until I found this motivation again. Then I try again, and then I lose again, and then it just keeps going back again and again and again. Fitness, it's one sample of that. It can be really on anything. There's the one thing you need to do. If there is no doubts, you just go ahead and do it. The best excuses that you usually tell yourself that are acceptable when it's still 1%, it's something in the lines of, one time won't hurt me. If I won't go to the gym one time, if I won't write just one morning, if I won't take my pills today, if I don't do the work that I need to do, or maybe just not today, I'm gonna skip to the next day, okay? Today is bearable. I'm just gonna move this task for tomorrow. I'm tired, it's cold. All of these excuses that might be valid, these are the excuses that are basically lies you tell yourself in order to avoid the thing that you need to do. And the beautiful thing about it, if you think about it real quick, there's so many things in our life that are 100% certain, and we never question them because we grew up knowing that these are things we're doing, right? You wake up, you brush your teeth, no questions asked, right? No questions asked at all. And I remember myself as a kid, I hated it. I hated brushing my teeth. Really, I hate it. And now it's so, in tuned into my internal wiring that if I wake up, I just brush my teeth, right? I just do it. Doesn't matter if it's cold, doesn't matter if I'm tired, doesn't matter if there is no skip in a day, right? I'll do it because there is no conflict here. I know that I'm gonna do that, right? Even if it's not fun and it's something terrible that all of us are doing. Terrible in terms of it doesn't feel well, it's not fun to wake up and brush your teeth. You know, I might be wrong, maybe you do have that, but it just sounds terrible. It's not fun. Same goes for example, waking up without snooze. This is something that I started, I think, about, I don't know, half a year ago. It's not negotiable anymore. It's the hardest thing to do. When you wake up, you know, I always find it funny where God or the creator, whoever, just connected the best time of the day with the worst possible time of the day. They're actually connected. They're not even time spread between them. Going to sleep is kind of the best thing to do when you're tired, just, you know, crash into sleep. It's so fun. And then you wake up instantly after. It's terrible. When it happens, you just want to go back to sleep, especially if it's cold, especially if it's early, and especially, you know, if you know what day you have ahead of you. So if there is any conflict there of, you know, I'll just close my eyes for a few more seconds, I'll just give it a one snooze. If you do any of that, of course, eventually it's going to become a habit and it's going to be something that's going to beat your goals. Eventually, you are making decisions in advance. When your logical brain is working, you are making decisions of the things that are going to make your life better and easier. And we all know what we need to do, right? You all know that if you want to get in shape, you need to go to the gym, okay? So if you think about it logically, you know what you need to do, and it doesn't really matter if you have the optimal workout or if you do cardio or if you lift weights. You just need to go to the gym. You just need to do something, right, with your body. You know you need to do this. If it's come to nutrition, you know what you should avoid or how much you should eat. You know all that. And if you don't, you can just go ahead and Google that, right? It's super simple. There's no secret anywhere. The information has never been more accessible, freer, and more available for everybody. It used to be, you know what, I get the excuses of older people, like 50, 60-year-old people, because they just didn't have the internet. They didn't have all this information, so they just had one source, which is their parents and their environment. We now don't have this excuse. We can know everything. We know what we need to do, and ignore the fact that most of it is obvious, right? You want to get in shape, you need to go to the gym. As soon as you have any sort of conflicts inside, it's just not going to happen. You made the decision when you were logical, right? When you knew, like, if you now think with yourself, you know, I need to go, whatever, every day, every 2 days, I need to go to the gym. I made this decision logically. I know that it's true, right? No matter if I'm tired, no matter if it's raining or cold, or I don't feel like it, the logical decision came first. The logical stuff. Everything that I mentioned after that is not logical, it's emotional. And if you're going to let your emotions dictate you, you're going to lose in life. It's very simple. If you have logical decisions, you're going to win. If you have zero conflicts, internal conflicts, if you know that emotions doesn't matter, the only thing that matters is what you need to do, and you get it done, you're going to be the top 1%. So the only way to become a 1% is to kill the 1%, the 1% of doubt, the 1% of indecision, the 1% of letting your emotions, you know, manage you. If you make a logical decision, there is 0%, no reasons to get back into doing the things that you know you shouldn't do. So just kill the 1%, and it's so much easier when you don't have a conflict. It's the same with, I used to be smoking cigarettes a lot. Like, I used to smoke a pack a day. I used to wake up every single morning telling myself, okay, today I'm not going to smoke. Today I'm not going to smoke. And every day I wake up and I light a cigarette before I even brush my teeth. That's disgusting. I was disgusted with myself, and every day I used to go through the same process. Every day. And it took me a few times, like a lot of psychological machinery inside, to go back and forth and learning. And then I read The Easy Way to Stop Smoking by Alan Carr. Highly recommended to anyone struggling with smoking. And I didn't realize at the time, but it removed the conflict completely from my mind. The issue starts when there's like, I want to do it, I can't, I want to do it, I can't, I want to do it, I can't. It's like a child where you try to take the phone or the computer away from him, or the sweets away from him. It's like, I want it, I can't, I want it, I can't. Eventually you lose. You will find a way to get it. The only way to really fix this issue is to remove the conflict altogether. Remove it, like, get rid of it, okay? So when I read this book, without realizing, suddenly there was no conflict. I instantly defined myself as a non-smoker. I was never thinking about smoking since. It doesn't make sense. The logical decision is there. I removed all the psychological barriers, and I was ready to move forward with my life. And I must say, it was impossible before that because I didn't know this information. But now, today, I can apply it to other areas of my life. I need to go to the gym, I go to the gym. I need to wake up, I wake up. I need to have a hard conversation, I have the hard conversation. I need to do these videos that takes tons of energy. I will sit down and do the videos for you guys. So also, like, this video. If you got this far, it's gonna be amazing. Now, the thing is that you need to understand, if you have 1% of doubt, if you have 1% that's going to, do this internal talk with you about how you should avoid the things that you need to do, the energy that it's going to take you to fight this 1%, you can win for a certain amount of time. Eventually, you're going to crash. But the amount of energy that it's going to take you to deal with that every day is just going to prevent you from using this energy to other things. You're basically not going to be able to move on with life and do other stuff. You're not going to be able. Like, I remember the days when I used to be smoking. I used to wake up and my energy was against myself. I'm trying not to smoke. Boom, I smoke. And then I couldn't think about fitness. I couldn't think about relationships. I couldn't think about business. So much energy was devoted to try and fight this urge, this 1% that keeps getting me back into smoking. But once I removed it out of the way, only then I could start thinking of other things. And again, you can experience that in any realm in your life. And it's important that eventually you will get rid of that. Okay, you must get rid of the 1% in one area, move on to the next one, and just repeat this process until you have your life all together. It feels amazing that back in the day, I had no idea how I'm going to stop smoking, yet I got it done. I had no idea how I'm going to have a successful business, yet I got it done. I had no idea how I'm going to get in shape and get fit, and I got it done. Like, everything is possible if you just remove all the unnecessary barriers that are emotional, not logical. You're not stupid. If you're watching this, you're not stupid. You're just letting your emotion handle you, okay? And it's going to feel so much better once you get it done. Once, twice, thrice. It's just going to become a habit. It's just going to become the way you live, the way you exist. You are going to become a better person. You're going to become a top 1%. Becoming this top 1%, it's not something you do. It's something you are. And if you aren't, you need to become the top 1%. And if you will do it, everything else will follow. It doesn't matter how you look at it. And I'll give you some other maybe points to think about. Everything that is related to willpower is not going to work. Eventually, you just need to remove all the emotional barriers. If it comes to willpower, you think sometimes that you don't have enough willpower. It's not true. You have tons of willpower. Trust me, no matter who you are, what you've done in life, you have tons of willpower. Everything that you do requires tons of energy, and you have a lot of willpower. When you have this conflict, just eventually it's going to erode. Your willpower is going to erode, and you're going to be won over by whatever it is that is trying to get you. If you think about willpower, I'll give you a good example that a lot of you can relate. If you look at, porn, or if you look at video games, or if you look at smoking or drinking, all of these took a lot of energy to waste time and do the thing that you want to do, but there is no conflict, so there is no issue. You can keep doing that. If you think about people who waste hours of learning a new video games, not hours, days, months, years to become professional at this, it takes a lot of effort, right? You start, you suck. You go online and just everybody kills you, right? It sucks. But you just want to get better, and you find the joy in that. You find the joy in getting better, so there's no conflict there. You just wait to get back at it again. The problem is you're doing that too many times with games online or games outside of reality instead of playing the game of life. And if you do that, you're just gonna win better, you're gonna live better, you're gonna have more. So basically in life, you only have two options. Either you have 1% or more of doubt in yourself that's going to create internal conflict, and eventually you're going to hate yourself. You're gonna think that you have low willpower, you're going to have low self-esteem, you're not going to appreciate yourself, and you're going to think that you're weak and powerless. That's the one option. The second option is that you kill the 1% of doubt. You kill the 1% of emotional management of your life. You just start managing your life by logic, because you know what you need to do, and you're going to be happy. You're going to be happy, and you're going to get the things that you want to get. Now, in terms of timeline, I don't know. Some things are instant. For example, stop smoking. Super easy. I stopped. That's it. I stopped smoking. There's nothing else in there. In terms of fitness, might take a little bit longer, probably a few months, depends on, how much weight you need to lose, how much muscle you want to build. So it's gonna take longer, but just stay at it, track your progress. Eventually it's gonna happen. Just give it 3 months, 6 months, you're going to see the results. When it comes to business, it's kind of a tough decision. It can be anything from 1 week all the way up to 5 years. Completely fine. Just take your time. For me, it took like 4 years to get something up and running. I have a lot of friends that it took them much less time than me. That's completely fine. Just be on your own journey. And again, if there is no conflict, it doesn't matter how long it takes, right? It's either you die and then it doesn't matter. You lost, but you die. It doesn't matter, okay? Or you just keep learning and eventually you win. The only way to lose is if if you quit, right? If you quit, then you lose. If you never quit, nobody can tell you lost. You just haven't won yet. So again, if you remove the conflict of maybe I will lose, maybe I can't get it done, maybe I'll quit, then there's no losing. There's either learning, dying, or winning. And I assume you're not gonna die from running a business, right? There's one cliche that I don't want to really connect to this idea of burning the boats, because it's not always relevant. But if you look at burning the boats, basically giving you no option to go back, it's kind of create the no conflict mentality, because there is no way to go back. It's not always the best idea or connection to this idea. You might have a look at this like this. And also remember that when you don't do the thing that you need to do, you always regret in retrospect. Always. The only way to stop these regrets is to never fall for this trap again of your emotions. They're just fooling you. If you're trying to get anywhere in life, doesn't matter man, woman, whatever, you can't let your emotions fool you. You just can't. It's impossible. Eventually you're going to regret every time. Like, I can think of thousands, if not tens of thousands of times where I lighted a cigarette because I felt like I needed it. Like, I felt it. I know I didn't, but I felt that I needed it, right? So I took it and I regretted it the moment I light it up. Every single day, maybe a few times a day. Terrible, terrible feeling. Same goes for when I drank alcohol. Every single time, like, I'm not gonna drink. I feel like I want to drink, I want to be high. And then the next day is just like, shit, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I keep doing it to myself? And you know, I have also a sentence a friend told me that really stuck with me about going to the gym. He told me this, listen up. You might regret if you don't go to the gym, but you will never regret going to the gym. So think about that the next time you're thinking about, maybe I shouldn't train today. Maybe it's too late. Maybe I should stop. Maybe it's raining outside. Remember, you're going to love yourself after you do that. You're going to feel even more capable if you go out and it's raining and everybody stays at home, everybody is being lazy, and you're going to crush it. You're going to smile during the walk to the gym when it's raining on your face. You're going to be happy when you lift those weights, you look outside and everything is raining and you feel powerful, okay? You're going to love yourself after you go back home and take this hot shower after this workout. It's going to feel amazing. It doesn't matter if you're tired, you're not going to end up tired. And even if you do, you're going to be happier because you went. And I want to finish up with two things this video. First of all, the fact that only 1% of people are successful. I don't know if it's even the right way to look at it, but the fact that there's only 1% that is successful, or the top 1%, doesn't mean that you have a 1% chance of winning in life. It doesn't mean that. No, not at all. Okay? Not at all. First of all, it means that 99% of people, or 90%, or however, most of people are losers. And they're not losers because they're stupid, or they're lazy, or they have low willpower. Most of them are not willing to wake up every day trying to become better and do what's necessary to get it done. And if you're watching it, by far, you are already there. Okay? You're already there. You just have some mental barriers you need to go through. I'm giving you these tips so that you can break through these mental emotions and barriers. In order to become the top 1% in life, doesn't mean you have a 1% chance to win. You only need to figure out a way to improve. And if you're not going to give up and you're not going to surrender to this 1% that is managing you emotionally, you're going to become the 1%. That's it. Alright guys, so in order to wrap this video up, there's one thing that I want to leave you with. This is a sentence that I wrote in my diary that made me make this video, and this is how it goes. I write these lines in 9:15 p.m. My eyes are heavy and I'm pretty tired from this super effective day, but I really had no time to breathe. I don't even feel like writing, but I made myself a commitment that I'm gonna do it every day. And in this optimistic view of life, I'm gonna go to the gym. Wish me luck. So yeah, this is what I wanted to show you in this video. This is what I wanted to talk about. Just let me know in the comments what you think. I guess I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.